It's not true. It's bullshit. I did not hit her. I did not. Oh, hi, YouTube. Oh my god. After 67 takes, we finally got it. Finally.
Die, you wage-taking scum!
There it is. Magnum. Holy moly.
Yeah, baby! That's what I've been waiting for!
Dear God. It's beautiful.
Yo, what's up everybody? Welcome back to My Honest Opinion. Today we're going to be talking about the movie that did better than the original movie. That is The Disaster Artist. If you don't know about this movie, somehow, back when The Room was getting the clout that it has, the clout was so strong. Could you imagine having a clout so strong that a goddamn movie was made about what happened with the movie? Like, bro, like, the clout being that strong is crazy. And it's wonderful. This movie is great. Honest to God, I saw this movie first before I saw The Room. Because I was more excited to see this movie than The Room, because I was afraid of watching The Room and being like, this is complete shit. I wasted like what, an hour 45 of my time, whatever the runtime is. I was like, what if it's not that funny and everybody's just laughing because that's their particular taste? What if, basically, is running through my head, and I kind of regret it, but I still enjoy the movie. I still enjoy them both, all right? But for those that don't know, for those that haven't seen it, let's go into the synopsis for this movie that they have is so long that this is basically Cliff Notes, I feel like, okay? If this is not Cliff Notes, then this is just like a PowerPoint dot by dot of the synopsis for this movie, because I feel like it's way too long. Compared to other movies, this is way too long. But enough of me padding this out. With The Disaster Artist, James Franco transforms the tragicomic true story of aspiring filmmaker and infamous Hollywood outsider Tommy Wiseau, an artist whose passion was as sincere as his methods were questionable, into a celebration of friendship, artistic expression, and dreams pursued against insurmountable odds. Based on Greg Sesto's best-selling Tell All About the Making of Tommy's cult classic disaster piece, The Room, the greatest bad movie ever made, The Disaster Artist is a hilarious and welcome reminder that there is more than one way to become a legend, and to no limit to what you can achieve when you have absolutely no idea what you're doing. Whoever's job it was to fluff out the synopsis for this movie, they deserve an A+, because that was fluffed out. There's a lot of big words added here and there, but it didn't tell you too much about the story. It just said, like, here's what happened based on his book. We're gonna make a movie about it. But the story, all right, let's get into the story here, ladies and gentlemen. So the story is quite gripping, I must say for myself. I caught myself enthralled. No, but legit though. The story is, if it's edited, which I feel like it is, just to make it a big dramatic piece, you know, I'm sure there's a lot of things they cut, or there's a lot of things that they decided to just like manipulate a little bit. Like, it'd be better if this happened instead in that situation, because then it'd be more of a gripping story, which happens when you have to make a book into a story or into a movie. Those creative differences have to happen, just because it's better as a movie than it would be in a book. But is it entertaining? Yes. Is it a good movie? Yes. Do I recommend you see it? Yes. But is the clout all that, all that it says it is? Objectively speaking, it's not as bad as The Interview, just because the clout around that movie had a lot more going for it. But for this movie, the clout surrounding this movie, though, it does go hand in hand with how legitimate of a good movie this is, though. So that's definitely a plus. And the story had me laughing And it honestly had me just sitting there going like, okay. Oh shit, really? The story is pretty solid. It's kind of what I expected, but not everything I expected when it came to what happened behind the movie, like the funding of it, or how Tommy was in real life with people that he worked with and everything else around it. I could tell people were probably as confused trying to play their parts just as much as the story was confusing. And the story of The Room, if you haven't still seen it yet, is pretty confusing. So I'm glad that everybody behind it was just as much like, hey, how come the breast cancer doesn't get brought up again? And now we get into the characters of the movie. For this movie, the characters are specifically really only focused on Tommy or Greg, obviously. And so when it comes to Tommy or Greg, let's dig into the facts here.
No, he's not dead. I just speak to him for your information. What do you think I speak to, Ghost?
For Tommy's side,
If this movie is to make me think that this is what Tommy Wiseau
actually like in the process of making The Room, then I get, he's clearly a jealous type of person. He's oddly clingy when it comes to his friends. When his friends are doing anything that he doesn't want them to be doing, he becomes either jealous or controlling. It was a little bit weird because I was like, why are you getting so furious that I guess your best friend to you is talking to this girl? He's like, no, let's go, let's leave club. No, I'm not having fun. And then he's talking to this girl. He ends up, dating this girl, and then they're gonna move in together. And he's just being so petty. He's being so fucking petty. Oh my god, for no reason. For no fucking reason. Like, he didn't warrant the pettiness. So why give it to him? It's like, okay, so he was a weirdo, both in the movie and outside the movie. You've made that clear. That's Tommy Wiseau, I guess. Could you expect any less?
Are you frantic? Are you frantic? Never touch bell wire in a thunderstorm!
Greg was actually a pretty big surprise for me, just because I thought that people that were around this movie were almost, if not just as much of a weirdo as Tommy was. Because I was like, who can go into this consciously? Who could choose to be a part of this? I was like, maybe they're all just like weirdos in a weird way. Like, maybe they're all just part of this pack, of this little bubble here, right? But that wasn't the case then, because if this was to be portrayed correctly, Greg is just a normal guy. He's a mediocre actor, but he got caught up in the hype to go to Los Angeles to become a movie star or a legit big time actor. And he had his chance, and I'm really upset at it, but he had his chance, and I'll be honest, I was a little bit upset, but then at the end of it, I did say, I was kind of like, okay, well, at least the movie became big enough later in life that it made you famous. But maybe for the wrong reasons, you think? Like, I want you to honestly think about it. If you had one movie, right, and you've done like 25 of them, but everybody remembers you for like one, and that one movie ends up being a really big stinker to your name, would you be just as happy that you were a part of it, even though you were taking 24 other projects just as serious, but this one decided to be the big stinker that everybody calls you out for? I don't know if that's such a great thing. It gets your name out there, but nobody takes you seriously though, because everybody's like, Greg Sestero, with the guy from The Room, you want to add him to the DCEU? Really? We're having it bad enough as it is, man. A little diss there to DCEU. But when it does come to this movie, and these two characters are in the focus, like it's based around their relationship in the process of making The Room, and how each of them both had to go through certain things, and they're falling out, but then finally a little bit of coming back together. You're like, you know what, we made this. Let's stand by it, and people are enjoying it, so let's just go with it. That's actually really fucking good. That's one of the endearing things about this movie to me, because around that time when a lot of that was finally coming into like conflict, like when Tommy and Greg were really like butting heads a little bit, I was sitting there like, okay, oh shit. And you can tell it's a good movie when you're a talkative person and the movie tells you to shut the fuck up and watch. because I sat there and I watched, and this movie is great in that sense. I really sat down there and I watched the movie, and I enjoyed it. I was captivated. I was enthralled into this weird area of life I never knew existed with a person. Like, what? Tommy is such an interesting... I can't even speak. That's how excited I am. Tommy is such an interesting character that a lot of the clout, if not around the weirdness of the movie, is the weirdness of him and the secrecy that he likes to live. It's so strange, but it works. You know, it's like a... I mean, I don't want to compare, but it's like a sideshow attraction. It's on the low. It's kind of how it is, at least to me. I'll be honest, subjective. At least to me, that's how it is. Like, wow, okay, cool. This is really interesting. Okay. But so then this movie had to do a big task of remaking The Room. And so we're going to do a new section here for remakeability.
You think you have long hair, you own the world? That's the idea?
I stop you right there. What is this accent? It sounds familiar.
Now, it helps because there's a whole section at the end of the movie where they show you the shot-for-shot remakes of certain scenes, if not the most famous scenes from the movie. And they do it fucking well. Not even well, they do it great. There is just one thing that glares out for me. James Franco's definitely paraphrasing Tommy Wiseau and not citing him. That's like the best way I could put it. Because there are moments where I feel like he's exaggerating a little bit, a little too much, when it's clear that in this footage, he's saying,
I did not hit her. It's not true. It's bullshit. I did not hit her. I did not.
But in the remake version of it, you're going,
I did not hit her. I did not hit her. It's not true. It's bullshit. I did not hit her. I did not. Oh, hi, Mark. Oh, hi, Mark.
and it's like, you don't have to go so extra with him, my dude. Like, you could tone it back a little bit. Like, you can, but then again, he's trying to make it his own or whatever for the movie. It's James Franco's the fucking actor, not me. So what the fuck can I say, right? I enjoyed this movie, and if I had to give this movie a rating, I would give it a solid 7 out of 10.
Oh my god. Wow.
It's just a good drama movie. It's funny. It makes you feel something that you'd be like, why the fuck am I feeling this? Why am I feeling this of all things? What the fuck? You're manipulating my emotions. Stop. And that's pretty dope. That's pretty dope. For this story to hit you the way it does, it's pretty dope. It's not fantastic, but it's definitely interesting. And you can't lie about that. It's definitely an interesting story. Alright? That will be it for my honest opinion on The Disaster Artist, alright? Please leave a like, comment, subscribe, and you can ring that bell if you want me to keep entertaining you, okay? Peace out.